Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Today, we're going to be going over my preview and prediction for the American League Central Division of the MLB for 2026. This is a pretty interesting division, and I'm really excited to get into this talk with everyone. So, let's get into it here. We'll start with the Cleveland Guardians, and this is a team that won the division last season. Actually, you know what? Let's go over the division last season just for reference. We should have done this for the AL East video now that I'm thinking about it. But you take a look at the AL Central last year. The Guardians won it 88 and 74. One game back of them were the Detroit Tigers, 87 and 75. Then you have the Kansas City Royals, 82 and 80. The Twins, 70 92, and the Chicago White Sox, 60 and 102. You might think that's bad, but the year before they lost 120 games, so this is a improvement for the White Sox, and they have some interesting storylines this year. But we're gonna start. Just I do want to mention though, last season the Guardians won the division, but the Detroit Tigers went on a horrible collapse at the end of the season last year. I mean, whoa, it was bad. They lost. Let's just count it out, shall we? In the month of September, they lost 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games. How many losses are this in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4. They lost 8 games in a row, including 5 games alone to the Guardians alone in the month of September. Monumental collapse for Detroit, allowing the Guardians to swoop in and win the division. Cleveland wasn't even in the wild card spot for a while, and they came in, they swooped in, took the division, and that set up a wild card series between these two teams, which the Tigers won. Tarek Skubal was dominant in his first start, and he won the Cy Young for his second year consecutive year. Got to mention that. And the Guardians won game 2 behind some 8th-inning homers, and then the Tigers, won game 3. They would go on to lose to the Mariners in 5 games in 15 innings against the Mariners in the ALDS, and that was all the season for the American League Central team. So let's move on to this year. We're going to start with the Cleveland Guardians. They I can't know. They didn't really do much this offseason. They didn't really add too much. It looks like it's just Reese Hoskins. Other than that, I mean, they didn't really do anything. I think they are a good team, sure. And, the thing about Cleveland is they're always going to hang around. They're always going to find a way to win. Managed by Stephen Vogt. It's a good manager. It's a good team still. But, last year they wouldn't have won the division if it wasn't for the Tigers' collapse. They're still a good team. I expect them to be hanging around. But if you look at the other teams around the East, I don't know if they're going to have enough. But let's take a look at the roster, shall we? We got Jose Ramirez. He is honestly probably underrated. I mean, I think people appreciate him, but I don't think they appreciate him enough. I think he's the best third baseman in the league. He is really, really good. Switch hitting. He looks slow, but he's actually got some wheels to him. He might be a 5-tool player. I mean, the defense is good. The offense, the contact, and the power is there. He's got some speed. He can, what's the fifth one again? I guess it's the arm. He plays third base. So you gotta have a good arm. Jose Ramirez is the best third baseman in baseball. He is a really, really good player. And I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does for the Guardians every year. And he took a massive pay cut on his extension in order for the Guardians to be able to spend a little bit more money and sign some more players. That's something that, people who are invested in the team do. He's invested in the team. He loves being in Cleveland, and he's just a really, really special player. That's what he is. You look at Stephen Kwan. He's the other big player on the Guardians. Not as big as J. Round, but Kwan is a very unique hitter in this modern game where, he takes a lot of pitches. He's a great, great contact guy, and you know what you're getting in left field. He's got a gold glove. I think he's got 4 gold gloves in a row. Might be 3 or 4, but Stephen Kwan, elite defense, great contact bat. Not very good power numbers, but you'll take that. You'll take the defense and the contact any day. I got Kyle Manzaro at first base. I think he was a rookie last year. I'm not. I guess he did play in 2024, but not too much. And last year was his first full year. Knocked in 70, hit 27 homers, knocked in 70 and 470 plate appearances. Hit 234 with an OPS of 768. He definitely showed some promise, and people in Cleveland really like this guy. They're kind of bought in on the Manzardo, but I think Manzardo's a really good player. I think he could be a really good player, especially considering the loss of Josh Naylor. That happened 2 years ago now, but he stepped up for sure. You also got Gabriel Arias. I never remember who the center or the shortstop is for the Guardians. It's Gabriel Arias. So I might put some respect on his name there. They got Rocchio over at second base, and look at this. They got Carlos Santana. Why is Carlos Santana there? I thought he was on the. Oh, that was last year, I guess. What am I tripping? Whatever. I'm lost. They have Angel Martinez. Not really familiar with him. I guess he played four. Okay, he played a little bit of games last year. None in the playoffs, but he was still good. And then the pitching staff. Why does it say Carlos Santana is on the Guardians? He's on. He's not. He's on the Diamondbacks. They gotta fix that. Um, They got Bo Naylor as the catcher. But the pitching rotation looks like this. You got Gavin Williams. You got Tanner Bybee. Those are kind of the big two at the top. The bullpen, you know what happened with, well, you know what, you don't know what happened probably. Emmanuel Clase, he is probably facing up to life in prison along with Luis Ortiz because were they were rigging the game. They would purposely throw balls, and it's it's crazy because Clase was the best reliever in baseball. And then he kept taking dives. This is a big problem. He was involved in sports gambling schemes, and he's facing up to life in prison for this. I mean, why would you even throw that away? I mean, you're the best reliever in the game, and you can make as much money as you want. Just don't do that, kids. Don't do that. And look at this. The Guardians don't have their closer now because of it. With that being said, the bullpen is still very good. Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis. I think Festa's in there now. It's a really good bullpen, and it has been a good bullpen. It was like that in 2024 when they had the best bullpen in the league with Clase. Now that Clase is gone, it's still a little bit it's worse, but it's still a very good unit. And let's pull up the projected lineup so we can get the full look at the Guardians lineup. Let's take a look at this here. I would expect Kwan to be leading off. You might want J Ram hitting two. Let's take a look at how Fangraphs has it. Um, Here we go. Oh, it looks like Stephen Kwan's actually going to be playing center field now. That's interesting. So you got Kwan, you got Georgia Valera. He's been left fielder. You got J Ram, you got Manzardo. It looks like Reese Hoskins is expected to make the team. In right field, interesting story. Chase DeLauder. This is a guy who made his debut in a postseason game, so good luck out there, kid. And he didn't perform horribly. I mean, he's a rookie center fielder in a playoff game. That's rough, but I mean, he's expected to impress. Um, yeah, I mean, he's a first round pick of 2022, and he's up at the big leagues now, so good for you. Gabriel Arias, like I mentioned, shortstop. Rocchio's the second baseman, and Bo Naylor his eighth. He's the catcher. They got Austin Hedges on the bench. Austin Hedges is like Patrick Bailey, but the hitting is even worse. Look at the rotation. It's interesting. You got Gavin Williams. He's not like the ace of aces that Cleveland's had in guys like Kluber or Bieber, or even like didn't CC Sabathia pitch for the guard or for the Indians when they were the Indians? I think he might have, but that's a long time ago. You got Bartolo Colon as well, but you got Gavin Williams. I don't know if he's like a true ace of the staff, but he is the ace of this staff. You got Tanner Bybee who shows potential. Slade Ciccone, he was a D-back. Logan Allen, and then Joey Cantillo. The bullpen is very good. Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, Sean Armstrong, Sabrowski, Festa, Brogdon as well, Payette, Palette, Tim Herron. Um, and then you look at yeah. Uh, Clase and Ortiz, they're probably going to never see the light of day again. So they get convicted, which they probably are going to. So what do I think about this Cleveland lineup? I think it's good. I don't think it's great. But the thing about the Guardians is they always find a way. They always find a way to be in the hunt, to be in the mix. They play clutch baseball. Cleveland is a very fundamental baseball team. They hit well, they run the bases well, they do the hit and run, they do the bunts, they do all that stuff. They pitch very well, especially at the bullpen. Cleveland is a real baseball team. That's a good way to put it. They play baseball. I don't want to sound like an old man here. They play the ball the right way. They do the old Guardians. They wouldn't say Guardians if you're an old man in baseball, but Cleveland, pretty good, pretty good team. And do I think they're going to be competing? I think they'll be in the mix because it's Cleveland, but I just don't know if they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna make it. It's not my prediction, but I would not be surprised if we find ourselves talking about the Guardians in the playoffs in October. It wouldn't be surprising. I just don't expect it to happen. Let's move on to our next team, which is the Kansas City Royals. They got some fun players. They have a really good lineup on paper. You look at it. Um, and the rotation is good as well. So let's take a look at this lineup for the Kansas City Royals. They went 82 and 80 last year, missed the playoffs by about 5 games, something like that. So let's take a look at this lineup here. I mean, the star player for the Royals is Bobby Witt Jr. He is probably, I'd say he's the third best hitter in baseball, probably the third best player in baseball, if we're being honest. I mean, I would say from the term perspective of hitters, I'd go Judge, Otani, and Witt. I think Witt is that good, and he's proven that he's that good. He's got like a 9 WAR season. 2 years ago, last year he was still very good. He's a very impressive player. He's got all 5 tools. He is the guy to build around. And the Royals have built around him, and they have a nice top of the lineup. I mean, you take a look at 1 through 6. You can even extend that down to the bottom. It's a nice lineup. Let's take a look at it. So we got Michael Garcia projected to lead off. I am a big fan of Michael Garcia, mostly because of his MLB The Show finest card last year. I was in love with that card. I hit so well with it. And yes, I do make some of my decisions based on MLB The Show. But I mean, a lot of people do that. I like Michael Garcia for that. He also was recently the MVP of the World Baseball Classic, which is big for Venezuela. So he's got to be excited about that. He's a good contact guy. He plays good defense at third base. He's a nice player, and yeah, I think he's a nice player. He's a nice third baseman. He's not J Ram, but he is a very good baseball player. He's got nice contact, nice fielding, good speed as well. There is some pop. I like Michael Garcia. I think he's a great leadoff guy. And you have him next to the star of the team, Bobby Witt Jr. I don't know if enough can be said about this guy. I mean, I remember when he came up in 22, everyone was so excited about it, and I was excited about it, and he has lived up to the hype big time. He's the best shortstop in baseball. He is unbelievably fast, and he can hit for contact and power. He plays great defense. He's got a nice arm. He can run the bases well. He's a 5 tool guy at shortstop. Shortstop, premier position, probably the most premier position on the diamond and on the field in general. But I really like Bobby Witt Jr. I think he's a great player, and he is the main focus of this Royals lineup, followed by some power guys. 3, 4, 5 can they got some pop in their bats. We got Vinny Pasquantino, the captain of Team Italia. He's a left-handed bat. He's projected to play first base. He can rake, and we saw that in WBC. He didn't hit that much, but when he did, he hit homers. And this is a guy who can hit homers. He was a top prospect. Now he's fully he's actually drafted in the 11th round, but he was a top prospect. He is established veteran guy now. He is a 3 hitter. He's got some pop. He's got a lot of pop. He's got a ton of pop. I'm not too sure if the defense is that good. I mean, I'm sure it's like average. Maybe it's even better. Royals fans, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I think Vinny Pasquantino is a fine baseball player, and I think he can continue to get better as well. Take a look at the next hitter, Salvador Perez. This guy is an absolute legend. He was also on Team Venezuela. Actually, 1 through 5 for the Royals were all on WBC teams. Salvador Perez, this guy's an absolute legend. He's been around for a very long time. He was signed by the Royals in October of 2006. Whoa, that is a long, long time ago. That's before I was born, guys. But he's been around, he's been doing it for a very long time, and he is such a good player. What I'm really surprised by with Salvi Perez is as he's gotten older, the pop has really shown up. He hit like, I think it was like 40, 48 something homers in 21, and the pop has stayed there. I don't know. He's probably not going to be catching every day because he is very old. But I mean, Salvador Perez, this guy should be getting a statue in Kansas City. He won the World Series with the Royals in 2015. He also lost the World Series to my Giants in 2014. But he is a really fantastic player. He's there with Buster Posey as the best catchers of the generation, and with him and Yadi Molina. But I am a big fan of Salvador Perez just from the pure baseball perspective, and he's a good human as well. Salvador Perez, fine man, and he's still got it. He's 30, almost 36 years old, and he can really swing it, man. And it's crazy because if you think about like veteran catchers, you got to give him the days off. So you put him at DH if you want to get him in the lineup. But the thing is, like he contributes offensively a ton, and he's still a good catcher and he's a blessing for Royals fans. He's the captain of the team, the literal captain. That's only been given out like a couple times for the Royals, and he's one of them. The captain, Salvi Perez. The next hitter is a young buck. Came up last year, kind of struggled a little bit, but this year the expectations are pretty high for him to find his footing and succeed. It's Jack Caglione. He was on Team Italy as well. He raked in the WBC, and that's a sign of things to come. The Royals can be pretty high up in the standings, just based on this top five that I listed out here. Jack Caglione, he's a top prospect, number one draft choice in 2024. So we progressed through the minor leagues pretty quickly, and he's here. I think he can really solidify himself as one of the top power bats in baseball this year. He's got the bat speed, he's got the pop. It just needs to come together for him to be able to hit major league pitching, which he kind of struggled with last year. But they also kind of threw him out there in the middle of the season. So I think he's going to have success this year. That's my prediction for Kettle Young. Then you got Jonathan India, came over from the Reds last year. He was a top draft choice of the Reds, and he was a first round pick. I like Jonathan India. I think he's got some nice contact skills. Rookie of the year in 2020. He's a nice player, and that's kind of it about that. Carter Jensen, I feel like I got him confused with a couple of people. I think he could be good as a DH. Isaac Collins, who the Brewers traded, he's a switch hitting left fielder. I think Isaac Collins is a nice player. I think the Brewers might have moved on from him too soon, if we're being honest. Um, I can't remember what they traded him for, but whatever. We'll see, I guess. Then you got Kyle Isbell, who's been on the Royals forever. They have Starling Marte and Lane Thomas, two outfield pieces they can be really good. They are whoa. Oh, and that's other guy. I mean, Lane Thomas, he still has a chance to turn his season around, turn his career around. I think he can do that. Let's look at the rotation. It's Cole Reagans, Michael Waka, Chris Bubich, Seth Lugo, Noah Cameron. Those are some nice. This is a really good rotation. I think 1 through 5, there's not really a guy who sticks out, although Seth Lugo was really good, I think, 2 years ago. And Chris Bubich, I think, was good last year. But I mean, Cole Reagans is the projected starting pitcher one. But man, I really think this is one of the best. I don't know if it's one of the best rotations in baseball, but it is a good rotation. And I think it's 1 through 5, it's consistent, and that's the big key for me. Is this is a consistent rotation, and that's a good thing to have. Lugo and Waka and Reagan's a little bit. Those are the actually Reagan's is pretty young, but Lugo and Waka are the veteran guys. And then you got Cameron, you got Bubic, you got Reagan's, who are not super young, but they're not super old either. They're right in the middle. Good rotation for Kansas City. Then you got the bullpen, which is full of guys like Carlos Estevez, who broke out last year, Lucas Urseg, also kind of broke out last year, Matt Strahm coming over from the Phillies, Nick Mears, Daniel Lynch the fourth. I think he had a good year last year. At least he did when the Giants played him. Bailey Faulkner, recognize that name. I I like that. I like what I see there. So I don't know what that was. I don't know. I like this. I don't think it's good enough to beat the Orioles, but the offense is. I mean, I'm kind of like thinking about it now. I think it's going to be close. I think the Royals are going to be competing this year, and if they're not going to make the playoffs this year, then they'll make it the next year. I like the rotation, but I like the offense even more. I mean, Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino, Perez, Caglione, India, 1 through 6. That's no murderers row, but it is pretty solid. Um, it's pretty good actually. I'm not going to say anything crazy, but be on the lookout for Kansas City because they've got a good team. Next up on the list would be the Detroit Tigers. The big story of the offseason for the Detroit Tigers was Tarek Skubal. And we're going to start with the rotation because he was in arbitration. I'm still not really sure how arbitration works, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say purgatory, but it's like when you're not a free agent, but you need a new contract and you're not a free agent. So you go to arbitration. You say, this is what I want to make. And the team says, this is what we want to pay him. And a lot of times the difference is very, very wide. In this case, Tiger's offer was here and Scubal's, what he wanted was up here. And who won? Scooble won. Scooble's getting paid 31 million. I believe it's $31 million a year. Maybe it's 30. No, it's 31. And he is set to be next year. He's going to sign a contract to make him the highest paid player. I don't know about highest paid player, the highest paid pitcher in MLB history. The question is really who is he going to get that contract from? Now we're trying to talk about this year, but just know these are conversations that will happen throughout the year, and especially next season. It's going to be the big story of the offseason who Tarek Skubal signs with. But for this year, he's trying to go back to back to back, repeat Cy Young. And he has the chance to do it. He's got the filthiest stuff. He's got great command of all five of his pitches. The changeup, the four seam, the slider, the curveball, the sinker. They're all great pitches. And I think he's going to be, dare I say, better than last year. It is a contract year, so he's going to be pitching for more than just the team. He's going to be pitching for himself and his livelihood. He's going to get a bag, and I think he might turn it up to get that bag, to make that bag as large as possible. Next on the list, this was the big splash for the Tigers in free agency. They went out, they got Framber Valdez. So you got Scooble 1, and then you got Framber Valdez 2, and those two are like kind of like this. Framber Valdez is a fantastic pitcher. There was that whole issue of him crossing up his catcher on purpose last year, and that narrative of him not being a good guy kind of got spun out of control a little bit. And it definitely hurt his stock. He got 3 years, 35 a year from the Detroit Tigers, and this rotation is scary. I mean, you have to go up against Scooble, Valdez back to back. Look out, opponents and teams. Then you got Jack Flaherty traded to the Dodgers and then just re-signed the next year. He's been with the Tigers pretty much all his career. I mean, he was with the Cardinals and then the Tigers and the Dodgers for half the year, won a World Series, and just came right back to Detroit. He's a good pitcher. I don't think he's anything special, but he's a good pitcher. Then you have Justin Verlander, old man, Unk. He was a Giant last year. The first half was full of injuries and struggle. The second half was vintage Verlander. He was actually so good in the second half. He was probably our second best pitcher behind Webb in the second half. And for people who didn't watch the Giants every day, I did watch the Giants every day. Let me tell you something. Justin Verlander was he looked like Justin Verlander in that second half. I mean, he went on a stretch of like 7 straight wins. There was actually like a blown lead in there somewhere, but it wasn't his fault. He was so good, and he was just grinding, and he was a fun guy to have. I am a little bit sad that he's gone, but I'm not too, I'm not too upset about it. I think he's back home with Detroit, and you could argue whether his home is Detroit or Houston. Personally, I think Detroit. He's back with the Tigers. They're good now, so that's a full circle moment for him. Um, I might, if you have to go Scooble Valdez, and then if Verlander is on Verlander in a 3 game series, you're not beating that. That's why the Tigers can go far in this tournament, in this postseason. If when they make, I think they're gonna make it there. Then you got 5 starter Casey Mize. He was a 1-1 back in 2018. Um, he's good. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know what to say about that. He's good. Boy, I'm tired. Long day today. Recorded 3 episodes today. This is the delayed one. Let's go to the bullpen now. You got Kelly Jansen as the closer, who really turned back the clock last year. I mean, he had such a nice year. He was like 29 for 30 on save opportunity. Did he miss one? I think that was the stat. He was like perfect, 30 for 30. Whatever. I'm tired. Kelly Jansen, though, he's a good closer now, apparently. I mean, he kind of like Chapman, turn back the clock. You got Will Vest, he's a nice setup guy. You got Kyle Finnegan. It's a nice bullpen. They got pieces there. And yeah, I mean, he's a nice pitcher. Also worth mentioning, Jackson Jobe is going to start the year in the IL, along with Mothman and Olson. Let's go to that lineup. And it's nice. I'm not gonna lie. You got Kevin McGonigal. He is not on the roster yet, but it looks like he's projected to be the leadoff hitter. Then you got Gleyber Torres, who came back with the qualifying offer. I thought he had a good year last year in his first year with the Tigers. He's a nice second baseman, nice piece to have. You got Kerry Carpenter, who mashes righties, not so good against lefties. They can work that out. You got Riley Green, who's really underrated, one of the better outfielders, one of the best left fielders in the league. He's kind of a younger guy. People kind of forget he's not that old. I think he's a lot really old, but he's only 25 and a half. Um, he's kind of good. Not kind of good. He's really good. He's kind of great, is the thing to say. You got Spencer Torkelson, who everyone was considering a bust. He was 1-1 back in 2020. Everyone was kind of writing him off, but he came back last year with a phenomenal year, hit a ton of homers, really looked like for the first time in a while, at least. 2023 had a good year. 24, 25. Looks like we're back, maybe. He looks like he has some promise left in him. You got Colt Keith, third base. Dylan Dingler, he's a catcher. The DH is Zach McKinstry. Goes first to third better than anyone. Shout out Jimmy Nort. Parker Meadows, center field. I kind of got him confused with Austin Meadows. Maybe they're brothers. Who knows? One of them was a Ray. Probably both of them. Parker Meadows kind of feels like a Ray. Yeah, the bench. You got Javi Baez on the bench. Javi Baez. Everyone thought he was done. Everyone thought he was a bum, and then he came back last year and actually played quite well for the Tigers, believe it or not. So the Detroit Tigers, they are far and away the best team in this division, just on paper wise. But the lineup is better than probably any lineup. I mean, the Royals lineup is very good, but you combine that with the pitching staff, the Tigers have the best lineup. The next 2 teams I'm about to mention, not really in contention this year. They got some fun players. The Twins really don't have anybody. They really don't have anybody except Joe Ryan. That's fun. But I think the Tigers are clearly the best team in this division, and it's because of their pitching. Scooble, Valdez, Verlander, Flaherty, and don't tell me, Casey Mize. Had to look. So yeah, Scooble, Valdez, Verlander, Flaherty, Mize. Not to mention you got some guys in the IR as well. That's a scary good rotation. It's a deep rotation, and the two at the top are two of the best pitchers in baseball. Probably like top three lefties in baseball, maybe top five. Scooble's top one. Any pitcher in baseball, and Valdez is up there as well. They got two really great lefties top of the rotation, and the righties aren't half bad either. Especially if Verlander, if Unk can pitch well. Oh baby, look out! Tigers will win the division because of their pitching, and the offense won't be half bad either. So that's my prediction. We got the next team on the list. You got the Minnesota Twins. This team is not good. I'm just gonna say it. You got I actually like Matt Wallner. I think he's gonna have a nice year. I'm looking out for that. But you got Byron Buxton, you got Joe Ryan, and then you got pretty much nobody else. This team sold like over a third of their roster at the trade deadline last year. Excuse me. They sold over a third of their team at the trade deadline last year. And there's the whole ownership situation. And I think they sold the team to the brother. I think he actually wants to win. So we'll see how it goes. But this is the lineup: Byron Buxton, Josh Bell, Luke Keyshaw, Matt Wallner, who I'm pretty excited about, Caratini, Larnack, Royce Lewis, Ryan Jeffers, Brooks Lee. I think the only player really worth mentioning here is Byron Buxton, who is, when healthy, elite. The problem is it's been kind of hard for him to see the field. Last year was really the first full year of Buxton. Yeah, he only played like 120 games, I think, so it wasn't even full. But for Buxton standards, it was a full year, and he was impressive. He made the All Star team, was in the Home Run Derby. He was on Team USA this season. He's got such a talented skill set. He's a tall guy, but man, he looks like, man, he can hit the heck out of the baseball. He's super fast, great defense. Buxton, he's honestly underrated. I kind of feel like he's underrated just because he doesn't see the field that much. That's the problem with him. Is when he's healthy, he's one of the best to ever to do it in the game today. But the problem is it's the injuries. If he can stay healthy, he's a special player. I hope he does stay healthy for his sake and for the sake of the Twins fans. They need something to root for. Luke Keyshaw, he's Luke Keyshaw and Brooks Lee. They kind of impressed me last year with their play. Um, Matt Wallner, I think he's gonna have a breakout year. He's got some nice stats. They got Austin Martin, who was a first round pick by the Blue Jays in 2020. I had his card in the show like 5 years ago and I loved it, so I like him. This is the rotation. You got Joe Ryan, Billy Ober, Simeon Woods Richardson, Taj Bradley, Mick Abel. Wow, Mick Abel is a twin. I guess they got him in the Duran deal as well as the Bader. But I like Joe Ryan a lot. He's got a nice sweeper. Will he be traded this year? Maybe. Take a look at the bullpen. You got Taylor Rogers. You got Funderburk. You got Anthony Bonda, who was just cut for the Dodgers because they're just too good and they needed roster moves, which is funny. Pablo Lopez is going to be out for the year, it looks like, which is a hard blow. I just don't think the Twins are going to be doing much of anything this year, and I just like to skip over that, if you guys don't mind. To the fun team of the Central, it's the Chicago White Sox who made some signings. I mean, really, um, they have a lot of exciting young players, which is crazy because it's the White Sox. But I mean, they do. They're probably their big move was signing Munetaka Murakami. Eh, He was so good in the 2023 WBC, and he was so good in Japan. He had hit so many homers. But the kind of general consensus was he was overrated, which I don't know where that came from, to be honest, because I'm pretty excited about it. But he went with the White Sox, not the place you think when you think of premier destinations for Japanese talent coming into MLB. You don't think Chicago White Sox, um, but he's there now, and it gives you like a reason to care about the White Sox, which is, what do I think he's gonna be good? Yes, I do. Maybe not like off rip, but I think he has what it takes. I think he can hit velocity. I know it's a common problem for guys coming over, but he will adjust. He is too good of a hitter to not adjust to that. I think he's a good player. I think he's something good to root for in the White Sox. They got some nice. Here's the big one that I'm pretty high on. Colson Montgomery. He came up. He was a first rounder in 2022, late first rounder. But dude, he was really good last year. Like he was in Rookie of the Year conversations. He was that good. He was kind of on the White Sox, so it did take away from his rightful praise, but because nobody talked about him. But Colson Montgomery was really nice for them last year, and he could turn into one of the best shortstops in baseball. He has that potential. He reminds me of Gunner a little bit. You know, they got that sweet lefty swing from a shortstop position. Colson Montgomery, I think he's the real deal. I mean, you got Montgomery, you got Murakami, you got a nice Chase Mydroth, Miguel Vargas. There's a lot to like in this Chicago White Sox lineup. They got Luis Angel Acuna on the bench. They have some nice young players, and that's fun for a fan base. Looking at the rotation, you got Shane Smith. He was an all-star last year because every team needs one. Other than that, I don't know any of the names except for Fetty. Look at the bullpen. They have Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jordan Hicks. And I don't know any of the names other than that. And I know ball. I don't know many of these guys in the White Sox. So that's kind of where we are with the White Sox. It's just there's kind of it's still depressing. It's still the White Sox, and they still suck. But it's not horrible to watch. That's the thing. It's kind of fun because they have young players in Murakami, technically a rookie, and Montgomery and Mydroth and Vargas and Shane Smith. They have fun players to watch. They're not going to win anything, but they're not terrible. I mean, good for them. The White Sox fans have been through a ton. They really just need some help there. They really need something to watch, and they're going to get something to watch. They're going to get Murakami in his rookie year. Or they're going to get Colson Montgomery, who could become one of the best players in the league. So those are my thoughts on the teams of the AL Central. Let's get into these predictions. This episode is much shorter than the AL East episode, but that's kind of because I'm by myself, and also this division isn't as fun. I think the winner of this division. Sorry, I got an itch. The team to win this division is a no-brainer. It's the Tigers. I don't see any world aside. Okay, the only way the Tigers do not win the division is if everybody gets injured. That obviously is not necessarily random, but it could happen to anybody. But I mean, injuries aside, there is no good reason why the Tigers should not win this division. It's theirs to lose, and they're not going to lose it. The rotation is much too good. You got Scooble, you got consistent in Valdez, you got three nice back end guys as well. I mean, the bullpen is good, the lineup is good. They got some sluggers in Green and Torkelson and Carpenter. It's a really good team. I think they're probably going to be with the Orioles. I think Orioles Tigers. That's my prediction. Is a pretty even matchup in terms of the first wild card, but I think they'll match up well there. But I think they're winning the division and making the playoffs as a 3 seed, and with that rotation and a 3 game set in the wild card, I don't see how they're losing that one unless they get roughed up, and they're also going up against a good rotation. But I don't think that's going to happen. I can see the Tigers going on a deep run. Do I see it winning the whole thing? No. But they can get hot. The rotation is so good, and pitching is the key, and especially in October baseball. Tigers, without a doubt. The next question is, can any of the other teams make it close or compete for a wild card? I think the Guardians, they're going to be there because they always are. But I actually think the Royals are going to finish second. I think they're going to be just maybe a couple games out of the wild card spot because you look at the AL East, it's so good. There's so many good teams over there. Maybe one of the four, the big four AL East teams hits a rough patch, or they lose a lot of division games, and it opens the door for one of these teams if it were to be one of these teams opening the door and getting into the final wild card spot, I'm taking the Royals. I just talk so fast. I'm like Eminem. Eminem's from Detroit. He's a Tigers fan. But I think the Royals have what it takes to finish second in this division. And then I'll take the Guardians third, and I think they're going to be competing, even if they don't start out that way, because they're the freaking Guardians and they know how to play baseball. I'm going to take the White Sox to finish fourth. Not that many wins, but maybe Murakami is a nice year. Maybe Colson Montgomery's an all-star, which he probably will be. Then I'm going to take the Twins, who are kind of a complete mess and really not playing well. So that's my predictions. That's this episode for the AL Central. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow in tomorrow's episode. And I will see you tomorrow for the AL West prediction. So just to recap, I got Tigers, I got Royals, I got Guardians, I got White Sox, I got Twins. Probably the least competitive division in baseball, but the Tigers have a good rotation. So we'll leave you with that. Tigers had a good rotation, they had a good team. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.